Okay guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to tie the original hare's ear pattern. So the materials you're going to need are thread, bead head, hook. Bead head is optional, by the way. Turkey feather and hare fur, basically. So start out with a hook and bead head, or just a hook if you feel like. So for this example I'm using Camazan B170 size 14 with a 2.7mm tungsten slotted bead head. So start out with some thread. This is just some 80 Danville's thread, and just wrap that right back from the bead head to the hook shank bend. So as soon as that starts to bend, just before that you want to snip off that excess thread. Then what you need to do is, we're going to be making a tail. So the tail is made from a little bit of fur from the hare skin. So I've just got a whole skin here, and I'm just snipping off a little tiny portion of the little tip fibers of the fur, which I'm sort of evening out of my fingers here, just so I get a small but effective little tail section here. And I'm just going to nip that in just like that along the back of the hook shank. Just wrap that in properly there. As you can see, just got like a nice bushy little tail. If you've got any too long fibers sort of outstanding, then you can pull them, and then just wrap up the hook shank so you tie down those little excess fibers along the shank there. And there's the tail. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Now you're going to get some wire. So this is just some copper wire here, which I actually took out of basically a dead computer cord that I had lying around. I just cut it open, got like a lifetime supply of copper wire, which is really handy. So you want your bead head, if it's slotted, to sit upwards, which you can basically, you can make it sit up by putting a whole lot of thread in it until it sits the way you want, just like this. Putting the thread inside the slot so that this whole bead head rotates until the inside of the bead head is full of a thread bundle, basically, and then you can make it sit the way you want, just like that. The other way is you can put the tip of a lead wire inside the slot on top of the hook shank, and that helps it to sit the way you want as well. So now I've tied in this copper wire along the hook shank. I'm just going to reach down to this big patch of hair fur I've got, and I'm just going to pull out a bunch of the sort of finer white fluff, and that white fluff is going to make our abdomen, and I'm just wrapping it around the thread as a basic dubbing. It does get all over the place with actual hair off the pelt, so be wary of that. Don't have like a cup of tea around, because little hair fibers will just basically accumulate in the liquid. And now I'm just sort of wrapping the natural dubbing over the abdomen of the fly, or the back half basically. Now that I've wrapped that in, I'm just going to take my hackle pliers here and nip the back of that wire in the hackle pliers just to secure it, and I'm just going to wrap that from the back of the abdomen with some nice tight even wraps all the way to the top of the abdomen and where your dubbing stops. That's just going to sort of keep it from getting torn off, basically. It's just security. Now pointing that thread towards, away from the eye of your hook, basically, so forwards, I'm going to wrap a thread wrap over that to lock it in place. And I'm going to do a few more wraps for security, bend it back a little bit, come with my my wire cutters, sorry, nip that off, bend that tip down with my fingers so it doesn't cut my thread, wrap over that excess wire, just keep it down. Now I'm going to take some turkey feather here. I'm just going to take a whole little bunch of them, so probably 5 or 6 fibers. I'm going to snip them off the feather here. There you see it. Snip, pull them away from the feather. Then I'll line up the tips here, and I'm going to lay them over that thorax section just like that, and pull them in just like that. So pull them in, tie them along there, secure them properly, and then even out that little thorax base with your thread. Now get it sort of laying evenly along the hook shank there, and now all you need to do is get some more dubbing. So for this top section, the thorax section, go for the sort of prickly, leggy, spiky part of the pelt. So basically the top of the middle of the pelt, you'll see a bunch of like sort of spiky, leggy bits of the fur. You want to pull the tops off, not the bottom. The bottom's white fluff. As you can see, that's the white fluff there. So you want to take that and just pull it off. And that's the stuff you want there, that sort of dark, pointy stuff. It's more spiky, makes way better legs. And wrap that tightly around the thread. Already I have a throat full of this stuff just because I'm breathing it in, these little fibers, which is a side effect, so be wary of that if you have allergies to like fur or anything. And just sort of dub that thorax, sorry. Once that's dubbed fully, take your turkey feather and sort of bend it over the thorax. So once that's dubbed right to the bead head, take your turkey feather and bend it over the thorax there, and then lock that in with a couple of thread wraps just behind the bead head. Pull them back, do a couple of wraps in front, come with the scissors and snip that right at the base. Now come with your whip finishing tool, and basically just one whip finish is necessary. If you are using any glues or resins, otherwise do like 3. So I'm doing 1. And then snip the thread off quite close. And then all you need to do is come with a bit of UV glue, or this is solar res here I'm using. It's just a resin that dries hard. And the reason I use this is because wing cases are traditionally quite brittle. And then just blob a drop of that on the wing case and on the bead head as well. And then you're just going to go and get a sort of, I use my hook eye clearer. This is what you use to sort of put through your hook eye to clear it of any UV glue, and I'm just going to tease that back away from the eye because it will drip down towards the eye gradually. I'm just going to even that out and create a more sort of uniform looking wing case there. Once I've done that and I'm happy with it, I'm going to come with a UV torch and just brush over that wing case. As you can see, I actually have this torch which allows you to put the sort of nozzle of the torch all the way over the fly, so it creates a little UV chamber inside the torch, and that just helps to sort of evenly dry that fly fairly quickly. There you go, and that's it, it's done. That is the traditional Hares Ear fly. Pretty easy, pretty awesome pattern, catches an absolute truckload of fish. I think the majority of the fish I've ever caught have been on this fly. Definitely give it a go. Hopefully this video was helpful, instructional. Hopefully you guys found it comprehensive and are able to replicate this fly quite easily. If you enjoyed it, definitely hit the like button below and subscribe to my channel for further videos. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.